while back, it's been about a week at time of recording, but whenever this gets released, I did a video. It was a 2-part video, and I ended up doing a couple of other follow-ups on one of the subjects of these lefties that end up getting their just desserts. They were voting for policies that ended up leading to their demise. One was a cat out of New York City with their Antifa girlfriend who didn't even want to give a description of the attacker and had a whole bunch of friends that were surrounding him that, I wouldn't blame the knife-wielding psychopath, just say that, that was just a victim of the system, and that book has already been closed, and, it's just as pathetic as you could think about. But the other person that was in that video as well was Josh Kruger. Josh Kruger was an out and avowed left-wing activist with every terrible opinion that is normally part and parcel of that. And yes, of course, he ended up, getting his comeuppance by, getting gunned down in a break and entering in his own home. And hey man, if you advocate for that kind of demise, I'm not going to shed a tear when it ends up ultimately happening. But yeah, Philadelphia journalist Josh Kruger murdered suspect Robert Davis, 19. So yeah, they ended up catching the suspect, in this one. And that would be this individual right here. Obviously, nobody's shocked. Knew the activist who was trying to get him through life. Wow. Now, there was this chick. She was working in Baltimore or some shit like that. Okay, I know I made the joke over there where she was bludgeoned to she ended up getting, deleted by some giant 300-pound black guy after she was a very vocal supporter for disadvantaged communities or whatever other crap that she would put out there. But I made a joke before. I was like, okay, how long before we figure out that, she was getting, slipped the old BBC from that guy? But little did I know about the 3 stories that came out around the exact same time of very similar situations, that it would be this one that would end up being that case. Pennsylvania police had named the armed and dangerous 19-year-old suspect in the shooting murder of Philadelphia journalist and community advocate Josh Kruger. Yeah, what was he an advocate for? Yep, all the left-wing policies, anti-gun, bigger government. He was also like a, LGBTQRRAIRS 2+ alphabet mafia type advocate, and HIV, AIDS, and a whole bunch of other crap. We need to raise awareness for sexually transmitted diseases. I was like, yeah, there's quite a bit of awareness that's out there. Stop butt fucking and it'll stop transmitting. Okay, pretty simple stuff. Kruger, 39, was shot 7 times on Monday inside his 2-story South Philadelphia townhouse by Robert Davis, according to her homicide unit, Lieutenant Hamilton Marshmont. Okay. A warrant is out for Davis's arrest, citing murder and related offenses. Police said that they were able to narrow in on Davis following multiple tips and the video of the incident prior to the murder, but they did not provide additional details. Our goal is to have Mr. Davis taken into custody in a safe manner for the public, our officers, and himself. Yeah, whatever, man. That's fantastic, okay? They caught the murderer of somebody who, he ended up getting murdered and all that stuff, and, that is, I guess, sad, but when you go ahead and go rah, for all of this stuff, saying that, you 2A guys is just compensating for your tiny wieners, and then you just end up getting shot 7 times. It's like, wow, that almost seems like a crime of passion, because, it kind of was. Family of the man wanted for killing Josh Kruger says the 19-year-old and the journalist shared sex and drugs. Every fucking time. Every single time. What is wrong with these degenerate fucking left-wing activists, man? This shit is ridiculous, okay? And why do I add the degenerate rejoinder? And then also enlarge size of the text? Partially blind. But then also at the same time, this was all happening while the 19-year-old wasn't quite 19. Like I said, every fucking time. Family of Robert Davis, 19, who is accused of killing local journalist Josh Kruger, said that Davis was just 15 when he and Kruger began a years-long relationship involving drugs. Now, I know the statute of limitations in a bunch of different states, not the statute of limitations, sorry, the age of consent in a multitude of different states it varies, okay? My hard and fast rule when it comes to that stuff, 18, don't really care anywhere else. If it's lower, higher, if it's higher, obviously you just go ahead and adhere to the laws, but if it's lower than 18, I don't care. I'm crossing my T's and dotting my I's and not fucking playing around with any of that statutory shit. But as far as I know, some states it's 16. It's never lower than that. So 15, 15's kind of off the books there, Josh. The fuck you doing? Began a years-long relationship involving drugs, and that Davis told them Kruger was threatening to post sexually explicit videos of him online before the police say, okay, Davis shot Kruger. Oh, wow. So yeah, just going in, breaking into his house, not really shown to have stolen anything, but to shoot somebody 7 times. Yeah, you got a motive in order to do that. And that's what everybody was kind of thinking at the time, and lo and behold, we got confirmation. Those assertions by Davis's mother and older brother in recent interviews with the Inquirer had troubling new complexities to a killing that has garnered national attention. Their account, they said, is drawn from recent conversations with Davis and from the years of watching his life unravel as he tried to keep his relationship with his drug addiction hidden. Kruger, 39, was killed after a man entered his Point Breeze home in the middle of the night, police said, and shot him 7 times at the base of the stairs. Surveillance video near the scene and tips from Kruger's friends and family led detectives to Davis. Oh, so he wasn't necessarily keeping this relationship secret on his end. Police described the pair as acquaintances and said Kruger was trying to help Davis get through life. Yes, one thrust at a time, you fucking pedo. The family's connections came... come as detectives separately discovered and are investigating what multiple law enforcement sources have called explicit photos and messages in Kruger's phone. Oh, so there's evidence to back this stuff up. This isn't a 40 beheaded children type situation. There is actual evidence at play. Sources who requested anonymity to discuss the ongoing investigation did not say whether the images or messages were connected to Davis, but said that they were disturbing. Yeah, it kind of lines up, huh? Or maybe he's just an even bigger scumbag than is what is being alleged, and have been turned over to the department's Special Victims Unit for further analysis. Yeah, that would kind of comport with the allegations at play. Deputy Police Commissioner Frank Vanor said that the contents of Kruger's phone are part of an investigation as detectives seek to learn more about why he may have been killed, but critical details of what happened, he said, lie with Davis, who remains at large. No, he's been snatched up. We already know. I think he could answer a lot of questions if he comes into custody and surrenders. It might help us put this all together. Danica Davis and her son called her on Friday, just hours after Philadelphia police burst into the southern Philadelphia home looking for him. She urged him to turn himself in. Holy, words are hard. She said, but before the call ended, he frantically tried to explain himself, though he stopped short of admitting to the crime. He was scared, she said. He said, he wanted me to do some stuff I didn't want to do, and I didn't do it. He said he was going to blackmail me. Yeah, if you have been successfully weaponized with that tactic, then you're going to try to weaponize it on other people. Makes sense. Danica Davis and her older son, Jalen Reason, different father, color me shocked, said in an interview that Davis faced mental health issues from a young age. He struggled to control his anger in school, his mother said, partially because of the absence of his biological father in his life. Again, I'm shocked by this, and often got into fights. Yes, single mothers are heroes, and they also raise criminals. Again, just go ahead. Wow, the statistics once again all pan out. After he started sneaking out in the middle of the night and coming home high on drugs. But he also didn't want to sit down and discuss anything because he said that his rear was a little bit sore. They said Davis told him he was seeing an older white woman. He met online who worked for the government. They frequently saw the name Josh pop up in messages on his phone, they said, and when they asked who Josh was, Davis told them that it was the woman's brother, who was gay. It was only later, in their call with him Friday, that they said that Davis had told them he had been seeing Kruger all along. Kruger worked for the city, including in the Office of Homeless Services, from 2015 to 2020, which lines up with when they said that Davis initially told them that he started seeing a woman who worked in government, and they'd followed Davis and Kruger's block on Watkins Street before they said, desperate to find out where he was going and getting the drugs. They trailed behind and watched as he turned into Watkins Street, but they couldn't figure out which house he was going into. For years, Danica Davis said, we've only had the pieces for everything. We could never put the pieces together, and now everything is coming out, and we're seeing what is going on. Davis sometimes returned home with expensive gifts, such as designer belts, Gucci pants, and they would never tell his family what the woman had bought for him. He'd sometimes stay out until the early morning they said, and returned under the influence of drugs. They found needles, pills, other drug paraphernalia in his pockets, and they began to believe he became addicted to meth, very common in gay circles. Now, I also want to talk about, the quote-unquote victim, which, you'll see why I put the quote-unquote in there in a second, because this guy's, I don't know if I said this, but I think the world might be a better place without him. Kruger, for his part, was transparent about his struggles in his own life. Yeah, he said that he was homeless for years and was addicted to crystal meth and used intravenous drugs. While on the streets, he wrote in 2017, he relied on sex work, his religion, and the kindness of others to survive. Interesting. Just afflicting other people with the afflictions that you dealt with over the years. I saw a lot of trauma and I acted out of pain, he said at the time in his life. He said he started making changes in 2013. He said he got sober and wrote for blogs and alt-weekly publications about his experience. Then in 2015, he was hired by the city. Over 5 years, he oversaw the mayor's social media platforms, acted as a spokesperson for the city's Office of Homeless Services. Yeah, here's where it gets dark. Okay, he returned to writing in 2021 for various outlets, including The Inquirer. He typically wrote about the issues that intersected with his life, including living as a gay man with HIV. And he was having sex with an underage kid. Think he wrapped it up? Do you think he also may or may not have shared a couple of those needles that was found with the kid as well? Yeah, this guy's a huge hunk of shit. He's a huge hunk of shit. And if this shit would have came out in any form or fashion, I think the calls for what ultimately happened to him would have been ringing out. Think I'm being too harsh? Think I'm jumping to conclusions? Look at the next paragraph. Police sources say he was concealing parts of his life and that meth was found in his bedroom. Oh, wow. Still, news of his death left many shocked and devastated. Yeah, but then this also as well. Him with a fucking HIV-seeking dick torpedo, sticking it into the rear ends of kids. Yeah, I got a big problem with that. And like I said, the world is probably better without this fucking piece of shit. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.